John is an Arsenal fan, wants to talk about John Barnes, who was, of course, on Talk Radio earlier on 08717223344 in talkSPORT. So I do apologise. Well, it says Talk Radio on my screen, but anyway.
I think he was. He was on both today. Actually.
Was he on TalkSPORT as well?
He was. Yeah, he was. Okay. He was on both.
Listen, before we speak to John, in case you've not heard it, we can actually hear a bit more from him. He was on the Breakfast Show. You're right, Jason, and he was saying that despite right, hold on 1 second. Right. Let's speak to John, shall we? We'll play the John Barnes stuff in a moment. Let's speak to John. He's an Arsenal fan. Hello, John. How are you?
Right, John.
Oh, I'm absolutely marvellous. I must say, John Barnes is an absolute legend. I listened to him at work on the radio because there was a little clip on BBC. It was sensational. It was brilliant. He was articulate, intelligent. He said what he needed to say. And it's probably the greatest radio I've ever heard on talkSPORT. It was sensational. It was brilliant. Fantastic.
Okay, let me ask you this, John, right? Okay, I heard it as well. I heard it on social media, and as I say, it was on Talk Radio as well. One of the things he said was that clubs are in this situation because of players' salaries, right? Will they be capped to help fans buy tickets, right? He doesn't think so. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, is it not a little bit hypocritical? I mean, I might be wrong, and if I am, I'm sure John Barnes will phone up and tell me. But when he was at Liverpool, I don't ever remember John Barnes being in the papers for saying he was earning too much money, and he's going to take a wage cut so it will allow fans to get into the ground for less money. I don't remember that conversation.
No, but that was years ago. He was still being paid
a fortune, and he was a young man when he went there. It was 1987, but he was there for a long, long time. And at the end of his time there, he was one of their biggest names, so he would have been one of their biggest earners.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with it. But don't forget, you're talking about, over 20 years ago, even more. And as you get older, and as you get wiser, as you get knowledgeable, as you read and become more knowledgeable, you realise, well, hold on, something's not right here. And he's just explaining how it is in an intelligent, articulate, and then probably a simplistic way.
But John,
he's sensational.
But by saying the clubs are in a situation because of the players' salaries, I bet he doesn't do stuff for free. I bet if you phone up his agent and ask John Barnes to do so, there will be some kind of scale on how long you want him for, what you want him to do, if you want him connected to.
Oh yes, I totally agree.
And it won't be cheap, John. It won't be cheap.
Yeah. No, it won't be cheap, but I found it really interesting. What he actually said is whatever club gets, right, don't matter how much money they get, they can have lorry loads, but 90% goes on players' wages. I mean, that is really incredible.
Is it though? Is it? Because I mean, I would imagine. I would imagine. Hold on. I would imagine a huge chunk of money goes to movie stars when they make a movie.
Yes, well, some of them, since Alex Guinness days, because he didn't thought Star Wars was going to be profitable, and he didn't like it, he just thought, well, I'll just take a percentage cut of the profits. Next thing you know, he's retired from acting, which was the same. So quite a few of them, like if they don't get so much wages, they get cut of the profits. But that was just a part of the story. I mean,
I haven't got a problem with it. Take Daniel Craig there. He's just signed a deal with Netflix to make 2 more of these movies. I think it's called Knives Out. I might be wrong. He's getting £100 million or $100 million.
You're joking, Daniel Craig. What for?
For signing up to do 2 more of these movies.
What movies?
Knives Out is called. It's on Netflix. I bought it. Yeah. What's
that about then?
I'm just saying.
John, we haven't made them yet.
No. If you're paying $100 million for the next 2 movies, did you say $100 million?
Yeah, $100 million.
$100 million, right? Then it must be what? Are they bringing the West End back?
Are they bringing what?
Are they bringing the West End back? Because they must do for excitement. I mean,
but John, my point is
Daniel Craig, $50 million per movie. He's only made Bond movies.
My point is, I don't get why footballers get such a hard time with the amount of money they earn.
Do you know, just on that.
He's not saying about footballers get such a hard time. He's actually saying about the elites. the elite, how they run things, how they operate things, how they've done it.
No, he's not. He said, I'm quoting John Barnes now. The clubs are in this situation because of players' salaries.
Okay, let's
that's part of the problem, isn't it? I mean, he was actually saying about multi-billionaires buying clubs, right, and thinking, well, they should think of the fans and all that. But it's their club. It's like Manchester United. It's like it should be USAFC. It's like Arsenal, USFC. It's the owners. It's the owners that run the clubs. They're billionaires. They're not millionaires. They're not local. What they think is money, 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 money.
John, look, you know me, right? I will always defend the players and their right to earn as much money as possible, right?
Yeah.
And I have done from day dot. I've changed a little bit over this, actually. Mm-hmm. My position on this has altered because I think John Barnes is onto something. And I'll tell you why. If they weren't paying, and they're all after the same players, the elite, we're talking the top 12, they're all in the same market for the same players. And I've never begrudged, I've never one of these ex-footballers that's bitter or jealous of the money. I've always said, go and earn as much, they are worth every penny because the clubs have decided they're worth it. And they've offered the contract, they're going to sign it, it's not the players' fault.
Yeah.
But I have to say, on the back of this, my position is changing.
In regards to what?
Okay. The reason that they are now chasing this £300 million a year is because they have to have the money to pay the players. And I think that this is a sliding doors moment for football. I really do. Especially after the year that we've had. I think that there needs to be a reset. And I've never said this before. This is not something.
Okay, what do you mean a reset?
I think football needs to have a reset. I think football needs to have a look at itself. Individual clubs, individual leagues, about how they operate business. Now, the guy at Real Madrid, Perez, apparently has come out. I was listening to Drive on the way in, saying that by 2024, big clubs will be going bust. How's that possible? How is that actually possible? And look, I've never go and earn 500, 600, 700 grand a week. I've always said go and do what you can. The best players in the world will and should get that. But I think the wage bills now have reached such a
okay. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, right? But if you worked for any other company that had a turnover that was in the billions, your top earners, your most important people in those companies would be on a similar salary, probably more.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. And I think that like I've said, the Messis of this world, Ronaldos of this world, the best players, but does there not come a point that if you're huge percent, I don't know whether it's 90, but it's a huge percent of money goes on player salary.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
No other business could survive like that. Football is the only business that lives hand to mouth. Literally every season. They budget for the next season, and if you get that budget wrong...
No, I think you're wrong. I think the majority of industries are budget season. They are. That's how it works.
90% of your salary, your wages.
Well, I don't know the answer to that question.
I can't believe that companies would be able to operate like 90%.
Well, they do. You know how it works with the budget. We haven't got it in the budget this year. Maybe if it's in the budget next.
But 90. That is football's a law unto itself, and it's been recession proof. Has proven that. Because the armchair fan, because of talkSPORT, Sky, BT, all the international viewing figures and the rights that have gone out there. I've got to tell you, mate, for the first time, and just the last 48, 72 hours, whatever you want to call it, have been...
I get it, they have. But when John Barnes says it's not a victory for the fans, this Super League thing, I disagree. I think it was a massive victory for the fans.
It was a victory for the fans. But what John Barnes said on the back of that, which I happen to agree with...
We'll play some of this in a minute as well. Yeah, go on.
What I agree with is that he was saying it's a victory for the fans. Yes, they've stopped the Super League. They came out in their thousands. I was at Stamford Bridge last night, as I said, I heard we've all seen the images. There was a solidarity. Football seems the football family is closer, even though the big six... I'm sure the Newcastle, Villa, all the other fans are proud of their fellow fans that have gone out and done what they've done. But what he said is that the football fans' victory today, what have they won? And what are they going to get out of it long term?
Okay.